I think the CTO job has actually gotten more complicated now. So part of our job is really the vision of the company, especially for the technology roadmap. And there's a constant clash as we get to be more and more quarterly related. The basic, every quarter is so important, and now every week is so important, and sometimes every day is so important. And so I constantly have to balance, hey, I'm looking 5 years out, I'm looking 10 years out. And if I heard a good quote while I was at the meeting this week, it was like the best time to plant a tree is 20 years ago. The second best time to plant a tree is today. So my job is to plant the trees, and we tend to rob from later to pay for today. So it's a complex struggle, and I always have to remind myself, hey, my job is about taking care of tomorrow many times, and getting people want your resources. They would like to take those resources and solve the day-to-day problems. So you do have to be strong and make sure that you stay grounded in the vision of a CTO.
So how do you do that as your job? That's a really good conundrum, because if you didn't think about it for a second, you'd have zero problem filling up your day with the day-to-day activities, right?
It's absolutely no problem, and it's a problem for all my people. So part of the job is giving them a framework to make decisions. So it's really important to focus on what are the top priorities. We even have like our top 3 list this week that we need to look at, and that top 3 list better not be stuff about just today. I even put in a practice I call it Freedom Friday for my scientists and engineers. So every other Friday, they get to do whatever they want. And the boundary is, it really needs to be something that they think the business could benefit from. So we've actually gotten 2 new products from Freedom Fridays within a year, just by freeing up people to do that. And so that, again, is just putting in sort of processes and mechanisms to make sure that people are thinking about tomorrow and the future and how we create future value. And then you got to measure if it's coming.
Well, the Freedom Friday is a great idea. Is there anything more structured that you do to allow for innovation?
Oh, many. There's many things that you can do. Some of the practices, I have a process called brainstorming inside the box, which I shamelessly stole from Harvard Business Review. But it helps you look at your business and do some brainstorming by asking a series of about 21 questions and answering them. It helps map out some of the needs, some of the trends, some of the things that are going on. Another important thing that has happened to innovation groups is you have to be very closely linked with, say, your marketing group. And we do joint sessions, we bring in the sales folks. I've gone outside with customers, started innovation teams with my customers, and setting some targets for what do we want to do to innovate together. It really helps the relationship. So there's many, many ways to push the innovation boundary. But again, having some kind of processes, that's what really helps people versus the pie in the sky type of blue sky stuff. I haven't found that to be very effective.